inside Presbyterian Medical Services at 1001 West Broadway. The Navigation Center can help you navigate life's challenges. The San Juan County Navigation Center, connecting to resources, empowering lives.
KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The caregivers of San Juan Regional Medical Center are committed to bettering the quality of life, health, and care of individuals, families, and our communities. Life is their sacred trust. Better is their mission. Here is their home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910.
KSJE, journey with Native art voices of the Four Corners and me, Benea Yazi, where we will trek into the Native artist dialogue and narrative. Together, we will take a glimpse into the art process and the lives of the Navajo, Apache, Ute, and Pueblo artists living within Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. Tune in every third Thursday of the month at 9:30 a.m. or find podcast episodes. Native art voices of the Four Corners, great artist stories are the journey of art in the Four Corners.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Megan Cullip, along here with Scott Micklin.
Hey, good morning,
Good
Megan
morning.
Cullip. How are you?
Well, it's Friday morning.
It is Friday morning.
I'm going to D.C. Saturday.
You are going to D.C. Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but now I do.
Now you know that.
Okay. Our
So-
nation's capital.
Our nation's capital.
Okay. Is this work or play?
Is work.
Oh.
I would never go to D.C. for play.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You have other destinations
Other
for that.
destinations in mind.
I gotcha. Well, good luck there.
Thanks.
Try to slap some sense into them while
Yes.
you're there, will you?
Right.
I don't care
know.
whoever you see.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter. Good.
Hopefully some senators. I don't know. It's the National Association of Counties.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
very good.
Counties from all
Will you
over
be
the
there
US
all
will be
week
there.
or a few days?
No, just we come back Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well,
Yeah.
nice. Well, have a safe trip.
Thanks.
I'm just back from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I was there this week. So
For the Independent Radio Conference?
it was a podcast training, actually. So
Okay.
we're going to try to soup up our podcasts here. So that was interesting. And it wasn't as cold as I feared for Minneapolis in February. In fact, they were all enjoying warm weather. So
How cold was it?
it was not very cold. It was maybe 45 degrees during
Really?
the day. Yeah. So they were loving it.
I bet.
And I was like, this is great. When all the giant piles of snow that they had from like last week were melting.
Yeah.
Because they had lots of snow. But anyways, we digress.
We digress.
We do, because we have a guest and we have a show, a different show.
That's right.
Today, our Solutions from the Street show today. And so we want to talk a little bit about that and what our community challenges are and how our guest and her organization helps to meet those challenges and help folks in those challenges, right?
Right.
That's the idea. And so that is part of our show, what we do every other week here on KSJE. And so we try to look at community challenges. One of them, because this organization does multiple things, but is trying to raise awareness of drunk driving, also trying to help high school seniors celebrate safely, and a lot of other things that they do. And of course, we are talking about the organization Drug Free San Juan County. And you can't talk about Drug Free San Juan County without talking about our guest who is here with us today. And that is Nila Hamblin, who is here this morning. Nila, good morning, and thank you for coming in this morning.
Good morning. I'm very glad to be here.
We're
Thank you very much.
We're thrilled to have you and to talk a bit about the organization that, as we were mentioning, you have been part of almost from the beginning. The first 2 years you sat out, but you've been there ever since.
Right.
And that's been since
Right.
1982.
Correct.
That's a long time.
Yes. And I have really enjoyed it. It's kept me in the community, and it makes you feel good when you're a volunteer. And this is a truly volunteer organization. And it's been one that I have appreciated having in the community, but we are not well known, and that's why I would like for everybody to listen closely and join with us.
Exactly. And we are kind of looking at your website right now, and you do all these different things that are at the top, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring you on and talk about, all the different things that Drug-Free San Juan County does. And I know that you also will put out a invitation for other volunteers to help serve on your board or work on
Yes.
some of these other projects
Yes.
that you do, right?
Yes, we have got a new project. I don't know whether you'd rather talk about the old ones, the established ones that we have done in the past. One of the things that we used to do was the Red Ribbon program.
Okay.
And then we realized that was doing a really, really good job, but also it was a money-making project. And so we decided that was something we did not want to continue with.
I see. Okay.
So,
yeah.
although they did a lot of good things.
Right. Well, let's talk about, maybe start with Project Graduation, because that's coming up, and I know you could probably use some volunteers and donations for these annual celebrations of high school seniors, right?
Yes, that was where I spent a lot of my time, the first half of my time with Drug-Free San Juan County, was being the coordinator for Project Graduation. And the reason why Project Graduation, first of all, is put on by the senior parents for the seniors and their guests the night after graduation. As soon as the children graduate, I shouldn't call them graduate, the young people graduate from high school, they are no longer participate in the insurance that the schools cover for them, because
Right.
then they
They're on their own.
are graduate.
Yeah.
Yes, but we were having a lot of parties, and when I was first here, we would have the big news was that how many students were injured or in accidents or had been killed, and we had somebody in the county killed almost every year, student, because of the things that they were doing. And so that's why we started using Project Graduation, which is an all-night party, and all of the students that will go to the party, and then we have lots of foods, lots of activities, lots of prizes that they give away. Thousands of dollars have been donated by our merchants, our local people, and it is a truly local project.
Right.
But every year we have new parents, and so there is not any continuity from one year to the next, except unless they're really good record keepers and pass on their records.
Right. But
Well, that's what Drug-Free San Juan County does.
you're the continuity.
We are the continuity, and we supervise, not really just coordinate and support all of the high schools in the county. For a while, we were helping even Navajo Prep, but Navajo Prep and Newcomb High School wanted to have their traditional ones, so they don't have Project Graduation very often, but we have done in the past.
Gotcha.
But we help Aztec and Bloomfield and Farmington and Piedra Vista and Kirtland and Shiprock and the college high school.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they are having one too now.
How great. That's wonderful. And so it's a supervised kind of party for
Right.
the students. There's no alcohol.
Correct.
And the students have to kind of sign a pledge, I guess, right, when they're taking
Right.
part and their parents, obviously, that they're going to behave themselves. But there's lots of other activities and pizza, and I know all kinds of stuff that's donated, and prizes too, I think, for some of these as well, right?
Oh, they have offered anywhere from cars to
Cars?
college. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Some
Okay.
years they even had
All right.
cars, but every high school has their own project graduation with their own ideas and own ways of doing things, and all we do is coordinate to make sure that they've got their organization, somebody doing it and somebody and help them pass from one year to the next.
Right. Terrific. And so if folks are listening to us this morning and want to help or donate, they can call the phone number for Drug Free San Juan County and let you know that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would be glad to direct them to, and there is an organization in each one of the schools this year.
Yeah.
And that's something that during COVID we had a breakup, and some years they didn't have one, and they had other ways of using the money, and it was and so now we're rebuilding.
Good.
And we do need volunteers, and I can help them, direct them to wherever they need to be, or they can call their own high school and find out how to volunteer.
Okay. The phone number for Drug Free San Juan County is 505-486-7929.
Correct.
That's the one that we have. So give them a call and get signed up. Megan, you probably could use that for your graduation. Did you have any supervision, or were you just gone wild in the streets around your school?
Well, when I was in high school, I went to project graduation.
Did you? Okay.
They have them all around the nation.
The model,
So-
sure.
Yes.
So you had one too.
So, yeah, San
Okay.
Antonio had one.
Nice.
And they rented out the brand new gym, so there was like a basketball court, volleyball court, there was a swimming pool,
Right.
that kind of thing, and so.
And that's some of the things that you all do too, right? If it's
Yes.
maybe roller skating or basketball or whatever, right?
When Royal Spa was going, that was our go-to place.
Yeah, with
And
the pool
it had
and
the
everything.
bowling alley next door, and skating, and a swimming pool, and all of that. But after they decided to stop,
Find a new place.
we had to go to individual places, and many of them come here to the college to the
Sure. The HHBC maybe, the
Yes.
gym over there, and the climbing
Yes.
wall and things like that. That makes sense. So perfect. Very good. Well, that is coming up, right? And that keeps you pretty busy because graduation season is almost nonstop for a couple of weeks, right, in May?
right. But the work has already started.
Sure.
And one of the things that Project Graduation does is help with the fundraising. And we have the tax ID number that some of the larger companies need in order to contribute
Sure.
and donate. And so we are the ones that are able to, they send the money to Drug Free, and then Drug Free in turn sends it back to whichever school they wanted to donate to.
Makes sense.
And there's no, we don't take a cut out of any of that.
Right.
That goes directly from one to the other.
Gotcha. So Drug Free San Juan County is a nonprofit organization, and that's what
Exactly.
allows you to do that with the corporations, and they can make a nice donation and see where their money is being put to good use. So that's great.
Yes.
Very-
And I want to give a shout out to all of the local companies. Our businesses and organizations have been so good to support and help Project Graduation. I also want to say, after graduation started, there have been no deaths, very few injuries, and even property damage has been reduced
Since Project Graduation started.
since Project Graduation started.
Well, that's, knock
Yes.
on wood, that's a wonderful
Yes.
thing to be able to say. So thank you for your efforts, because when you think about it, since, how long has it been going? When was the first Project Graduation?
In 1982.
Did it start when, when you started, that's when it started. That's a lot of kids. I'm
Yes.
trying to do the math, and that's too many years and too many schools to do the math, but that's a lot of kids, so.
Yes, and there have been many, many good memories built there.
Oh, sure.
And that's the last time the class ever gets together. You know, the reunions that we have later on are, there's always only part of the class comes.
Yeah.
But on this night, most all of them come.
That's
I
nice.
just want to tell you the community feeling that we have here in Farmington. This last summer, or last fall, I and our classmates from class of 1954 had our 70th class reunion.
Oh my. Wow.
I'm not sure how many people can do that, but we still get together every month and go to dinner and or lunch. And anyway, Farmington has a great community spirit, and we love it, and we appreciate all the support we get.
Very true. That's very true. Now, I have to ask you, how many from your class were able to attend your reunion? How many of you were there?
Well, we had a class, the first class of 100
In that year,
in that year,
54.
but there were only 15 of us that were able to get together.
But how great to be able to get together after all those years. So wonderful. Well, congrats on that and on Project Graduation, but that's only one of the things that Drug-Free San Juan County does. Megan, I've been taking over the interview.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
Well, my question is, what was your original motivation to get involved in drug-free San Juan County?
Well, there had been a really bad accident. You know how we have the the pipeline roads,
Yeah.
and there were a couple of different parties, and they came to the top of a pipeline road when they were out on Project Graduation and collided, and someone was killed. And they said, we've got to fix this. And so
Those weren't
Fine.
Project Graduation events.
And
They
that
were
was
private
before.
parties that they were doing, right?
yes,
And
they
that's
were
what
private
happened.
parties.
Yeah.
That was before Project Graduation started.
Yeah.
And Vibriones and, oh, dang.
Well, it's been a few years, but that's
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, they started it
Okay.
with the help of going out to the spa when it was in receivership, and Citizens Bank had it. And that's where the first one started. And
Very good. Well, again, congrats, because again, a lot of kids have been part of that over the years, and who knows how many injuries and lives saved because of that supervised graduation night event that
Yes,
you've been putting
it's
on
been-
through Drug-Free San Juan County.
And we are appreciative of all of those chairmen and their volunteers, because we've had them all the time except that during COVID.
Sure. Well, yeah, that was a
And
time
those
of a
are
lot of
all
disruption.
volunteer, and it takes them a year. They start in June and then work clear around till May.
Yep. Very good. Well, it'll be here before we know it, because here we are at the end of February already. So
Right.
So here we go. The other thing I wanted to talk about that Drug-Free San Juan County does a lot with are the victim impact panels, and that's something I know we've talked about before, Nila Hamblin, but talk to me a little bit about that event and those messages that keep going out into the community, and how did that get started?
Well, at one time, there were, I don't know how to tell you except to say that we were having so much problem, and the police department in the different communities realized and that they needed something to help deter people from driving while they were drunk. And so we opened up a panel, and we have a fee for those that have been called or ordered by the court
Arrested.
or the policeman.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have been for driving while they're drunk. And we have provided the panel, the people that talk to those that have been convicted of DWI. They have to come to the panel, and then we have our board members some of them, and we have a coordinator, and she gets speakers, and they come and tell their story about the impact of drinking and what it does to the family and to the people around them. And, you know, you always say, well, this is my body. I can do what I want to with it. But when you drink and get behind a car and drive, you are affecting many, many people. And that's what we are trying to do, is put that idea that it's not that we're going to say you can't drink. We just say don't drink and drive.
Well, sure.
Or
Yeah.
now, when it first started, it was not alcohol, only alcohol. But now it is all impairment of any kind.
Right.
And
Makes sense, sure. And you're bringing these folks really almost face to face, right? You've got
Right.
the folks who've been arrested for accused of drunk driving or convicted of drunk driving, and then you've got these victims who have either survived or maybe lost a family member to a drunk driving crash, able to sit face to face with these folks who've been convicted and tell them their stories.
That's exactly right. And we really would like to include anybody that would like to. We have a little bit of a training to help people, because it's a very difficult thing to talk about, you know, personal losses and that sort of thing. And so, but we are inviting people that would like to participate as on the panel.
Sure.
We would like for them to come and join with us. And please call me. And this is my personal phone call.
Number.
But we don't have an office. We are truly volunteers and work on a very small budget. And so please call me, Nila Hamblin, and I'll direct you and we'll get you started.
Great. Very good. I would think, too, for some of these victims, it might be a bit therapeutic to tell their stories. Do you find that sometimes? And do folks that take part in this find it maybe therapeutic to talk about their experiences or their loved ones or what have you?
Yes. It takes about 3 years for somebody to be clear of any drug. Alcohol is a drug, and we need to remember that. And although it's a legal one, and so is marijuana, they still impair us, and they're addictive. And so, for about 3 years, it is very problematic to think about it, and so they have to have a good, strong time of being dry before they can talk about it. And then we have a counselor, somebody there that can help them. But that's the reason why we have, a short time for them to share their story
Right.
without being in the public.
Sure.
And yes, our counselors have all said, this is one of the things that you can do to strengthen your resolve to be drug-free.
Gotcha. Making call up?
Can you share a specific impact panel, like powerful story? You don't have to share names, but a story that you've heard at one of these panels?
Well, yes, one of them is a lady that was, her mother and her dad were both alcoholics, and her dad was at a bar, and he was playing somebody else at the bar was teasing her dad and said, "This is my girl." And he got really mad because he was drunk, and he got in a fight and killed him. And he went to jail. And so she was there with her mother, and her mother was an alcoholic, and she ended up in a terrible, terrible accident. It injured her brain and messed up her jaw and her mouth. And anyway, her mother they lived through the accident, but then it wasn't too long after that that her mother died. And so then she spent her time going from one family to another. And she said, nobody wanted to take care of me because my mom and dad were both alcoholics, so she was going to be an alcoholic. She never was, but she said she had that label, and she's lived with it for many, many years.
Wow.
And she lived back east, and she finally moved out here.
Okay. But life-changing, for
Yes.
sure, for her.
Yes,
Definitely.
it was.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Well, we're just about out of time, Nila Hamblin. Is there another part of drug-free San Juan County that we haven't mentioned this morning that we need to talk about?
Well, our next project, and this is one in coordination with the Victim Impact Panel, I have asked many of the participants, the ones that have been ordered to come to the panel,
Right.
if they would like to have a supporter to help them. And they said yes. And I came up with the supporters of drug recovery,
Okay.
SOAR. And then I said, somebody said, we may have a problem with, somebody else has that.
Oh, the name or acronym?
That name.
I see.
But what we are asking is people that want to be a supporter, we would do a background check on them to make sure that they are who they say they are, and we would pair them with somebody that wants to have a supporter, and they would just call them or visit
nice.
with them or send them a note or something to support them in their efforts to be a survivor.
Nice. Great idea. Well,
It's a great idea.
we'll hope you get a lot of folks that will maybe want to sign up and help with that then, right?
Yes.
This is brand new.
And call that same number, 486-7929.
Okay. We've got it on the screen right now, so people can just jot it down. And if not, you can certainly go to the Drug Free San Juan County website, and there's a contact tab, and they can probably get an email message to you as well,
Right.
which is a
right.
good way to do that. So, very good. Well, Nila Hamblin, we are out of time this morning, sorry to say, but you do so much, and you've done so much for a long time, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
You bet. We're glad that you made it in this morning and that we were able to update everybody on what it is that Drug Free San Juan County continues to do in the community as part of our Solutions from the Street program. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. And everybody, let's hope and pray for rain and
Yes,
snow.
that's true. That's very true. I did see some in the mountains, but I know it's not as much as we usually have when I was flying around yesterday. And Megan will probably see it tomorrow when you fly out. So
We'll
it's,
be able to see because my flight's at 5:20 in the morning.
Oh, dark 30. Okay.
Oh, dark
well,
30.
sorry about that. But anyway. Okay. Well, safe travels to you, as we
Thank
said.
you.
And in the meantime, though, this will be tricky. I want to know how you're going to do an airplane ride and a radio show at about the same time. It is the miracle of pre-recording. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's the miracle of a rerun.
Oh, of a rerun even.
But, you know,
Okay.
I
gotcha.
mean, I've been doing it since 2019, so there's a plethora
We
of
have a
shows.
few in the closet.
We've got
That's
a few
true.
there.
Yeah, but Radio Free Saturday Morning will be on the air tomorrow as a rerun. Do we know which best of show we pulled from the archives?
We don't, which is kind of exciting.
Oh, so it's mystery.
It's
okay.
the mystery show.
I gotcha.
9 to 11 a.m. every Saturday morning.
But you pick a genre, or a topic, basically.
A theme, yeah.
And a theme, that's the word. And then play different genres of music that fit that theme.
Yeah.
So that's what folks can
Different genres,
remember.
decades.
Yeah.
And, usually for each song, share a bit about the artist or the background to the story behind the songs.
Yeah.
Do you remember VH1 Behind the Music?
I do.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So it's
But without the
pretty fun.
video.
Without the video.
But still music.
Yes.
Okay. And a knowledgeable host.
Correct.
See? I like it. Very good. Well, that's tomorrow. Followed immediately by the World Beat Show with our other friend Scott Duran. Every Saturday from 11 to 12. Another show with music from around the world. You never know.
Around the world.
Could be from anywhere.
It could be.
We never know. So there you are. Very good. Well, very good. Well, Megan, thanks for being here. Have fun in D.C.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Though you'll be back in time for
I
next
will.
week's show, right?
I will.
Okay. And that is our That's Interesting show. So when we invite you to call in, everyone, and tell us about what's interesting in your world. So we will see you next time. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. And thanks for listening and watching KSJE. KSJE and the San Juan College Native American Center present the Student Study Tip of the Week.
Hi, this is Marianne, coming to you with your study tip of the week. Week 5, Study with Friends. Encouraging friends to study with you can make everything more fun and productive. Ask your classmates to study with you at a certain time and location. For example, you can ask your biology colleagues to study with you after class for an hour at the school cafe. You can set up your computers at a table together and grab some snacks and coffee to enjoy the time. The same goes for studying with your friends. If you're not in class with them, studying together in person can help you hold each other accountable. When you make plans with friends, you don't want to be that person who cancels or doesn't show, right?
The Student Study Tip of the Week is presented by the San Juan College Native American Center and KSJE.